Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe, with another episode of my ongoing X-Files series here at episode 6 in Shadows, directed by one Michael Katleman, who is the biggest thing on his filmography I saw was a film called Primeval from '07. I recognize the title, but I don't recall ever seeing it. This particular, I'm pretty sure he only did one episode. Which is not a bad episode, actually. October 22nd, 93 is when this first aired. And written by Galen Morgan and, again, James Wong, who seems to be a staple in terms of writing, producing. This episode is notable for a few things. It's definitely a paranormal piece that delves deep into telekinesis, the ability of doing things or harming people via telekinetically, I guess is how you would say it, right? And so also notable that at least 3 horror films are mentioned in here or pointed to. Scully mentions Carrie. Mulder mentions Poltergeist. In fact, I think even Scully, furthers that with "They're Here" or something moment. And but really, the film the episode is inspired by The Entity. So there's sort of a mixture of a lot of that stuff going on in this episode. Basically, what you got here is right off the bat, the agents are called. They're called to. You don't know if it's the CIA or some high top level criminal organization, wrong way to say it. You don't know who the group is there that's overseeing these 2 dead male bodies that have been brought in. And they know of the X-Files and know of Mulder. And so they put in a friendly or not so friendly call to the 2, hoping to get, because they're actually investigating, might be the CIA now that I think about it. They're investigating a company that might have ties to doing business with known terrorists. The Isfahan, I think, is the name of the group in question here. So they call in Mulder and Scully, but they are not friendly. The dude and the girl, man, they are not friendly at all. And they just want some easy to go on answers because they're stumped in terms of how these 2 have been killed. Apparently the inside of their larynx has been crushed without somebody never touching the outside of the throat. And it is a question, so they want to know. Well, let's just say Mulder gets put off real quick by the low-level antagonism that he's sensing. And so he plays as close to the vest, in fact, without us ever even seeing it. And I should have went back to look closer to actually see if you can see when he does it. But he's got, ultimately, he will walk out of there with Scully with the fingerprint on his glasses. And so they cut their conversation short. And as they walk out of the room, Scully's like, because they want to know if they've ever seen anything like this in any of the X-Files, when Mulder just says, nope, never. As they're walking out of the room, Scully's like, I don't buy that. Why? And Hazel's like, hey, look. And so he has, of course. The X-Files are absolutely littered with telekinetic issue or things, right, involved. And so she's like, what do we do? It's not like we can investigate this. We have nothing to go on. And that's when he shows the glasses with the fingerprint. You find out the only bit of information they were given, which ultimately ends up being good information, is that they traveled, I want to say 60 minutes by air to that present location where their bodies in the morgue are. And this works out perfect for them because once they realize via fingerprint who these people are, and they go to the city, which is Philadelphia, they go there, which happens to be 60 minutes by air from where their location had been. And it's so right from there, they start to, get an idea who these 2 guys are and who might have killed them. This leads them to the only surveillance camera in that area of where the 2 were found dead is a bank teller machine. And so by reviewing the film on that, they're able to see a girl who seemingly is mugged, and it's to two guys in question who have been killed. And so that leads to visiting her and questioning her. Now, this girl works for the company in question. Her boss just recently has been, has died via suicide. I'm not going to worry about spoilers that much. Via suicide is what we're introduced to, and she is just absolutely, it's a secretary, and it's the same girl in the video that Mulder and Scully review on the bank teller who is mugged, which leads to these two guys being killed, not by her, but by her dead boss, who has got an axe to grind with those who apparently are responsible for his own death. And so here's where the poltergeist, the entity, and Carrie all sort of start coming in. And now we realize that we have a case where this poltergeist-like entity is seemingly protecting this girl who is his secretary. But there's a bad apple in this company, and the entity is out to either kill everyone in its way, or just you think uncover or help the secretary Lauren Kyte uncover exactly what it is that has been the wrongdoing, or who's responsible for his own death. Apparently, there were those in the company that wanted to start doing business with this group Isafan, but realizing that they were into terrorism, he has second misgivings and is basically going to pull the plug on it. And this, of course, becomes the motivation for his own death. Now, there is a connection to Lauren Kyte, which is interesting. You find out in the episode when they go, when Mulder and Scully when they don't realize Howard Graves is the boss who has committed suicide, seemingly. They go to the graveyard where he is buried, and they get a little more information from the main guy who works at the graveyard, right? And he fills him in on the family. There's a little girl buried there next to him, and this was his daughter at 3 years old. Howard, unfortunately, the latch on the pull gate was not latched, and she drowned. And his wife, about a year later, leaves him. Well, actually, it's weird. I thought they just meant she left him as a result of the trauma and the loss of the daughter, and probably blame. But I think she actually died a year later, probably heartbroken or whatnot. But she's buried on the other side of the cemetery, so they're not even buried together. Which sort of just, there's a lot underneath there, that never really comes topside. It's just down there. But the connection is the daughter of Howard Graves. Had she lived out her life, her and Lauren Kyte, the girl in question, our episode, would be the same age. And so that's sort of your connection, and why perhaps he is especially sort of glued onto her as sort of a protector-like entity. And so all of this, and that really is the short end of it, and it just sort of leads to what will be ultimately the resolution towards the end of the film, which, in terms of its paranormal quality, does have quite a frightening. There is one scene in here, though, when and I'll just leave it like this: the bad guy, the bad apple in this company, sends a couple hit persons to go to Lauren's house and attack her. She had something happens. I can't remember what happens, but she reaches out to Mulder and Scully, and she goes, "You got to get over here quick." I think it's when something happens, and so she races back home, unbeknownst to her that this bad apple has sent two hit people to take her out in her own home. When Mulder and Scully arrive, Howard Graves, the entity, basically has the one dude floating up in midair, seemingly with his hands wrapped right around the larynx. And it's just an awesome scene, man. When the door flies open and Mulder comes in, he sees the body just floating up in midair. Lauren's huddled against the wall. The other girl, I think it's a guy and a girl, is on the floor already. I think she's already had her larynx. So it's just a great scene, man. It's a really great shot scene, which really adds a lot to the overallness of the episode here. And so, as it would be, we head on to the resolution of the episode, and great telling moment at the end in terms of Mulder and Scully, and in terms of their closeness, their relationship. It's getting closer. They're in Philadelphia, and so Mulder asks, "Have you ever seen the Liberty Bell?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she goes, not really much to look at. It's a crack in a bell, something like that. And he goes, "I've never seen it. I've been here a million times. I've never seen it. I really want to see it." And it's just kind of a neat moment and how to just walk away from what they just were in. And I think, not directly but indirectly, the Liberty Bell moment at the end goes to a quote that was on Howard Graves' desk. It's a Ben Franklin quote: "One today is worth two tomorrows," which basically is what you can accomplish today is more important than what you might accomplish tomorrow. Today is a sure thing. Tomorrow might not happen. And so there's something there, mostly, I think, for Lauren as a character, as she's being, sort of pummeled through all of this. But anyways, great episode. Just not a whole lot to dig into other than what I just did. But it was a great episode, though. A great episode. I think next is, I want to say it's Ghost in the Machine, and then the disc rounds out with Ice, which I know is Ice is a big favorite. But I don't have good memories of Ghost in the Machine, so I'm looking forward to getting into that one next. So, episode 6, Shadows. It continues, man, and it's going to continue for the next 5 years, man. Thank you for watching. Sub if you've never subbed. Drop a comment down below. Hit the like button if you would. All that junk does help in the end. And I do this for fun. It's fun for me. I'm not getting anything out of it. But, growth is always nice. As always, we end these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream.
We might be useful to you.